Welcome to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township, and, those government entities that affect you out there.
That's right. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Addison Township, or Oxford Township, these are the people that you elected, and the commissions and the committees that make decisions that directly affect you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And that's why we're here.
Yeah, partially why we're here. There's other things too. Like one of us spreads rumors.
And the other one seeks humor in the rumor.
And that humor bubbles to the top. And we have an election
sinks
coming
to the
up.
bottom, you never know.
Yeah, we have an election coming up though.
That's right, November 8th.
You folks get out there and vote.
That's right.
If you're undecided.
Remember what I said about the League of Women Voters magazine, or the
Yes.
brochure that you can get that will teach you all about those people. You have no idea who they are. Like,
Right.
Who is that guy on the Board of Regents of U of M?
You might want to start reading now so you'll be in time for November 8th.
That's
There's
right.
a lot in there, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Anyway, let's talk about a couple of meetings, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. First meeting we're going to talk about is the Oxford Township Board of Trustees.
Ah,
And the other one is Addison Township Zoning Board of Appeals.
okay.
Okay, let's get on with the Oxford Township Board of Trustees. That would be Bill Dunn, who's also the Township Supervisor.
Yep.
And he chairs it. And there's Sue Bellairs on that board, Patty Durr, Buck Kreiderman,
Joe
and Jack
Ferrari.
Curtis. Yeah, Joe Ferrari, the treasurer, and the clerk, Curtis Wright.
Yep.
And they all do a great job out there, folks. But things are going to change, I think, in November when the new crew are going to be sworn in. Some of the old crew will remain, but some of
Look,
the
you
new-
almost saluted there.
Yeah, right. And that's what they did. What a segue that is. Okay, they did the pledge, of course, and then they did the roll call, and everybody was present, so it's good news when they show up to the meeting. And there were people in the audience, too, so we'll talk about that when
well
we
then.
get onto it. Yeah. Call to the public, and they looked around, and
Checking their shoes.
no action there. So then Bill Dunn, the supervisor and chairman, he said, "Fire department, how about Pete Schultz? You got anything to say?" He says, not today. He said, "I don't have any report today." So, okay, let's go on to the next one, shall we?
They went,
Yeah, that was close. Usually when Pete Schultz, when he speaks, though, he has got some pretty good goodies or information, for the
oh,
board.
yeah.
So he never asks for anything unless he really needs it. It's kind of like putting out fires. He does
You
that.
asked the fire chief for what's new, you expect good news.
You expect good news, yes. Okay, Parks and Recreation, the building update. Ron Davis stood up and he said that there's a number of things that have occurred. The new building, the maintenance building, is being constructed at this time as we speak. And he said, thank you to Bill Dunn and his connections. They provided 1,500 tons of gravel for the project, which, good job.
That's a lot of rocks.
It is. Jack Curtis was thanked also because he introduced Ron to several contractors and saved a lot of money, and actually Jack Curtis went beyond the bounds, of what he would do as a trustee and acted, of course, as a citizen and provided his time free.
Good work,
to do
Jack.
this. Yeah, Jack's a good guy. So, Jim Sharp, the engineer, also doesn't charge for all the time that he puts in. So there's a lot of things that are happening, with the park. That's good, and it'll keep the expenses down. And of course, anybody that knows Ron Davis knows that he does control the funding quite well.
He does a great job.
He does, and the parks are, I think you'll agree, are beautiful. He named some of the people that are working on the contract. One was Jack Faith, and he's a building, he's going to do part of the building construction, and he's out of Lapeer. And Dennis Hartwick, he's an electrician from Oxford, will be doing it. And actually, Ron has tried to select all local people, to do this project.
Buy local.
Buy local, yes. Kenny Solinsky is doing the plumbing and heating, and he's from Oxford hometown. Sarah Dan, who's doing the site work, those big moving, earth moving equipment things.
Giant
this guy
shovels?
does. Yeah, those giant shovels, yeah. With a little guy running the
With an
giant
engine
shovel.
behind them? Yeah.
Yeah, right. You know those. Okay, so anyway, he'll be doing that. Ryan Austin is doing the flat work. You know what flat work is?
No,
Ah, that's the cement work. When they,
make it flat.
make it flat. Yeah, that's a technical thing. When they make the cement flat, I have to remember that. This is a science guy.
Can you say screed?
Yeah, right. TKMS also, they're the company that provided the gravel, so they should be mentioned here,
Okay.
and quite generous of them. Then let me see, the well, they have to, of course, put in a well, and Dave Camarel, I believe it is, Camarel, is the guy that's doing the well, and he's a local guy as well. As well. Did you catch that? As well? Okay. The lean-to, they're going to be putting a lean-to in, and Doug Green from Oxford is going to do that project.
What function will the lean-to have?
It's extra storage for them, for smaller type implement devices. Can you say snowblower?
Yeah, I
type you
mean,
push.
lean-to
Shovels?
to me, lean-to
Shovels.
to me means it's open on one end.
Yeah, it would be. And I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of that is. Take a note.
I'll take another note.
Okay. Put them with all those yellow notes you have from the past.
That's right.
Would you
They're
do that?
color-coded, you know.
Okay. Let me see. Pioneer is providing the doors. Pioneer doors down just a little south of Oxford.
Well,
here.
this sounds like a Mennonite or Amish barn raising.
Just-
Everyone contributes.
Just about. and of course, the parks, they're always looking for volunteers. So you folks out there feel like you'd like to pitch in and help, get a hold of Ron Davis and his crew. They'd be glad to find a spot for you. Can you say shovel? No. Anyway, that could work. Let me see. Big John, TK Electric, is going to do electric work. Big John. Big Bad John.
What was the name of the electric company again? Was it JT?
It's TK
TK. Okay.
Electric. Have you heard of them?
No, I know of JT up the road, but
Okay, this is TK, supposedly.
okay.
And if it's not, you can spread a rumor, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Steve Augers, architectural drawing. Now, they ran into some issues with the drawing, and this guy actually has provided some free service, for it. So he wanted to mention him.
Is there a timeline on this?
Yes. Yesterday. No. As soon as they can get it done. It's got to be on schedule. Of course, you got to do that.
ASAP.
Yeah. There's certain things you got to do, like got to put up poles first, and then you got to, do the sheathing, and then you got to do, there's all a timing thing.
Ah, yes.
And that's really kind of interesting. Actually, Ron Davis is handling that part of it. He's actually handling it as a general contractor and putting this together. So that will save you folks a lot of money by having him do that out there. And he has every ability to do it and coordinate, the effort of construction. Steve Augers is the guy with the architectural that's done a great job in helping assist there, and I say putting in free time, to you folks out there. Let me see. Insulation. Huh?
Who's putting the heat in?
Oh, the heat. I mentioned that before.
Did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Heating and plumbing.
Okay.
It's going to be.
That's important, you know.
Boy, it's very. It's Kenny Swilicki. Yeah, Swilicki.
Okay.
Yeah, Kenny Swilicki, and he's hometown guy.
Okay.
So anyway, those are all the people that they're lining up. This building is going to be a 50 by 100 building. I think we mentioned that before, and plus a lean-to building on it. Got it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. With that, we'll talk more when we come back right after this, folks.
Marine Corporal Patrick Gallagher came here from Ireland. Serving his new country was what he wanted to do. It was the Vietnam War. He was there. Funny thing about war, protecting your buddies becomes number one. On an early July morning of 1966, in a foxhole near Canlow, in came an enemy grenade. Gallagher quickly kicked it out, and it exploded. Another came in. Gallagher threw himself over it to protect his buddies. It didn't go off. He quickly threw it out. It exploded. He won the Navy Cross and later gave his life in that war. There's a new missile destroyer coming along. It should be called the Patrick Gallagher. With your help, it could be. Go online to Patrick Gallagher USMC petition to lend your support.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kennedy.
And we are talking about the Oxford Township Board of Trustees. And Ron Davis gave his report. And on his final comments on the report, he said that November 8th is election. Please remember him, because he's going to be an issue on that ballot.
He is an issue?
Well,
or he
he's
has an
looking for
issue?
looking for well, he has an issue on there. I know.
Oh, okay. And what
It's
is that
bonding
issue?
for the parks for an additional, I believe it's $2 million for all
Over and
Stony-
above what they got, or
Stony,
a continuing?
over what they have in terms of their budget.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that they can do countless repairs to the various parks.
Countless, okay.
Countless. Too numerous to mention.
Cast of thousands.
Okay, got it. So with that, that was the end of Ron's report. Sharp Engineer was there. They do most of the engineering work, for the township. And he requested an increase in his retainer fee, which is quite low. Now, I want to point out that Sharp Engineering has provided a lot of free services to the township also. He's not sent any billing. So he's been good for the township, and I think the township's been good, for Sharp, Jim Sharp. $500 a month is what he was asking for, and of course, all the things he's done for the township in saving money, they quickly approved it.
Wonderful.
So, made sense. Emergency notification procedures. Remember they had a water line break a while back.
Yes.
And with that, Jack Curtis says, well, there's an issue because there's no protocol. Nobody knew how to alert the public on this. So who do you
Outside of, riding on a horse.
Right.
The line is broken. The line is broken.
Right. Yeah, right. You don't want a black horse riding at nighttime.
No.
I mean, you
Well,
can't
yeah,
ever
yeah.
see them, So anyway, so he said there needs to be a protocol in place, and he's absolutely
Sure.
right. It seems like it was like in a hen coop where chickens were running around not sure what to do. So he suggested that they put together, a protocol book.
How about an
And,
electronic sign up in front of the fire station?
well, those are options as possible, but of course they can't approve an electronic sign because it's against the ordinance at this point.
But they can get a variance.
They could if they went to the zoning board of appeals. Maybe. That's no guarantee.
No, they put their foot on the ground.
Yeah, they did. Right. Okay, so there's a number of ways, and one is Facebook, that they can contact. But the point came up, not everybody has a computer or computer savvy. So how do they know that there's a water issue? So anyway, so they said, well, all in all, let's come up with a procedure, on who's going to handle that procedure, should such an event happen in the
Well,
future.
it depends on what your scope is. Do you want to get the word out to all the citizens, or to the citizens who are most likely to run into that obstruction, whatever it may be?
Yeah, it would be people that be using that water source. Of course, all of a sudden you're taking a shower and you have no water. The other thing
That's
is
a clue.
Yeah, they were notified right now. But the other thing is that even when they fix it, they have to flush it out.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't really drink the water or anything
Oh,
at
it's
that point.
nasty once that surge goes through.
Right. So these homeowners have to be notified, of course, that they have to flush the system, and the procedure for doing that. So it's always something,
It's always something.
always something. So anyway, so they're trying to look for the future. If it happened once, Jack says it'll probably happen again. Hopefully not on his watch, but they need a procedure to do it.
A big
He's right.
banner, a big banner over the bridge, over the Pollyann Trail Bridge.
Can't do that either.
Why
It's
not?
against ordinance.
Man, you're closing all the doors.
It wasn't me, folks. So anyway,
Yeah, but this is an emergency.
but I don't think the sign recognizes an emergency, or the bridge does.
Well, maybe they could teach people to read semaphore flags.
Yeah, you being in the Navy, you know how that
I
works.
wasn't in the Navy.
Well, that's because he wouldn't. Well, anyway. Yeah, they would accept you in the Army, but not in the Navy.
Oh, it looks like a flooding flag up there. Never mind.
Yeah, right, there it goes. Smoke signals. We can do that. Anyway, they're going to come up with a procedure and
Morse
at the
code
next
with
meeting.
the fire sirens.
It does, yes. Fire chief is always there, so it'll work. Health insurance. And the question came up, who is authorized to establish the health insurance, and for who? And the supervisor, Bill Dunn, says, we are. He said, we make those decisions about that. So that settled that right off the bat.
For all levels?
Yeah, for all levels.
Okay.
They did approve, let me see, a 150 plan, which is part of the Blue Cross for the fire department and the police department.
A 150 plan.
150 plan. Now, take a note. I want you to read up on this 150 plan and let us know out there, and you folks too, exactly what the 150 plan is.
Because you don't know.
If I knew you would. You're the science guy.
Well, you have piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, okay. Take a note. Anyway, resolution. They had a resolution for 2016 for delinquent water users. And right now, delinquency is on residency that's not paying their water bill is $50,576. So they have to have a resolution in order to not chase these people, because a lot of them are foreclosures and things like that. And what happens is that actually it's turned over to the county. And it's written off the books at a given point.
Oh,
So
bad debt.
bad debt. 5% delinquent water fee for those people who are delinquent but are still there. They want to improve 5% delinquent fee. If you don't pay your bill, you get 5% tapped onto it. You know, so pay your bill. That's the key.
Maybe they cut the water pressure by 5% every time.
Or they could disconnect it completely. Well, no, just let it drip.
Oh.
This is your 95%. The other 5% we're going to keep.
Oh, well then.
That could be it. I don't know. They could work that out. I have to talk to them about that. That might be a good motion to make. So anyway, maybe not. Let me see. Also, they did talk about other things like weed control and that kind of thing, and funding for that. So, and pretty much was taken care of. The other most important thing that they talked about was a Halloween trick or treat. Now, when are kids allowed to go out and trick or treat in Oxford Township?
Can you say curfew?
You can. And you can trick or treat between 6 and 7:30 p.m. on Halloween night, October 31st. That's 6 to 7:30 p.m. in Oxford Township. Now, if you're from Leonard, or if you're from Addison Township, it's from 6 to 7 p.m., not 6 to 7:30. So 6 to 7.
You're in a different time zone after all.
Leonard. They are.
No.
Yeah. What is it, a half-hour drive or 20-minute drive? But just so you folks know what's going on. Now, I do know that in Leonard, after the trick-or-treating.
Well, it gives a kid a chance if he completes his rounds in Oxford to shoot out to Leonard. You got
Right.
a half hour.
Got a half hour to make it yet. But in Leonard, after the trick-or-treating, the fire department puts on a party.
Ah,
So
very nice.
for adults. So you folks can, I'm trying to think of where it's held. They have a special building that they go to.
hall?
Annex building. They're going to go to the annex building.
Annex.
That's what it is.
The annex.
And being said that, we'll be back right after this, folks. Welcome back to Minutes by Minutes. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are talking about the Oxford Township Board of Trustees and have just finished that report. And now we're going to talk about the Addison Township, ZBA.
Zoning Board
Give me more.
of Appeals.
Right, got it. Okay, the chairman is John Hatfield. Does a good job out there, by the way. The vice chair is Lawrence Smith. And then there's Trevor Haywood, and then there's Tony, is it Spina? Spina, I think it is. Tony Spina, yep. And Eric Senft and Robert DeWitt, who's an alternate.
Okay.
So in case one of these other dudes doesn't show up, you're going to have Robert DeWitt fill in. They did pledge. Then they read the minutes for September 8th. And
They
They
really
had-
read the minutes out there, don't they?
well, in this case, they don't. Now,
Oh,
if you're talking about the Parks and Recreation, they do. They
Okay.
read the minutes.
but in this case, they approve them.
This, you're right. Yeah, they have a copy in advance, and of course, they read them. Or don't read them, they just approve them. Isn't that what you said? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll agree with that. Let me see, the first thing that came on was the variance request by Jean Bellette. Now, she came before this board before, and we're going to talk trash right now, or not trash, but
You're going to do trash talk?
we're going to do trash talk. Actually, not trash talk. We're going to talk about septic field.
Oh.
Crap. Yeah, she came before this board before, and of course, Oakland County their health department have certain criteria for approving a new septic field,
Especially when you live near a lake.
especially if you live near a lake. You're supposed to be, the ordinance actually says 100 feet, from the lake. And this individual is looking for a 47-foot variance from the lake. And even with that, you have to seal the ground with clay. And in this particular case, according to the drawings, the barrier, the clay barrier, is 3 feet high, roughly, in the ground.
So is this an engineered system, or is it actually a regular septic field?
No, it's an engineered system.
Okay.
And it comes completely with an alarm system, that kind of thing, because the water cannot flow to the lake either. It's got to flow back.
Right. So it has to pump.
It has to pump.
A poop
And
pump.
I believe there's two, I think there's 2 pumps involved here, an alarm system. So if it fails to operate, either through the liquid or the solids, it'll set off an alarm. And
Well done.
and if you're in there and you flush the toilet and you hear the alarm go off, it could be a problem.
Put a clothespin in your nose and go out and find out what happened.
Yeah, actually, the company that's installing this thing, they monitor it as well.
Really?
They do.
I mean, by periodically investigating, or
Well, if they get an
By a
alarm
little
signal
alarm.
come in, kind of like an alarm
radio
system.
contact?
You're
or-
right.
Wow.
Well, yeah. It's kind of like if you have an alarm, on your home,
Oh, yeah.
where it goes into a central location. But anyway, it sets off an audible too, I believe. So everybody's going to know, including the neighbors, I think, when this is done. The property address is 2670 Kingston Road in Leonard, and it's the district is zone R1, residential, single family, and it is, of course, on the lake. The owner, who I said was Jean Bellette, lives at 55 Lakeville Road, so she doesn't really live at this property.
Is this a property that already has a septic field?
It
or-
does.
And it's failed?
Has failed. The health department has inspected it and said, you cannot repair this the way it is, you've got to re-engineer it.
Oh boy.
And this person is willing to go along with that. I mean, she's jumped through hoops. She attended the last
Well,
meeting that they had at Addison Township ZBA.
not a cheap solution.
And not very inexpensive.
Very
Aha.
expensive.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, she had to haul the waste away. And I forget how much it was, but it was quite expensive every week. I think she was spending, let's just say from, a guest standpoint, between $500 and $700 a week.
It begs the question,
Yeah.
where did she haul it to?
Yeah, you checked your backyard lately. Okay.
I'm sure they used a pump out service.
I would, yeah. She would not have a license to be able to do that. So.
No.
Yeah. Today you have to have a license for everything. Even if you spit into the wind, you better have a license to do that. But anyway, so yeah, she used a service that would, do that work for her. Required is 100 feet from the lake, and designed so as not to drain away, or designed to drain away from the lake. And it's watershed or tributaries and water well. So that was something too. You have to place this thing in a spot where it's not going to interfere with your well, because everybody has a well out there.
No,
including
so
this
much for that
location.
cruise they were going to take.
Yeah, right. You got that right. Let me see now. John was the chairman. John Hatfield wasn't present during last month's, meeting about this subject, and so he wasn't informed. So he has to be, kind of put on the shelf and let Robert DeWitt, the alternate, fill in for him to make the vote.
This issue has been bounced back and forth quite a bit, hasn't it?
It has. Now, keep in mind that these boards do not make the decision on the day that's presented. They just plain will not do that because there's usually other circumstances and evidence and information they need,
Right.
to make the decision.
They like to
properly.
ruminate through the facts.
They do. And actually the Township Planning Commission does the same thing in Oxford. They won't make that decision the same day as when it's
Sure.
presented. It's just really smart, to do that. And that's what they do too. So anyway, John then took over the voting process. He did question the berm and everything was fine. 3-foot sides, engineering design was approved, and it had to be approved because the township or the county said that if you don't get this approved by the township, we won't give you a permit to do this. From a
It would
health
seem
standpoint.
timing would be a problem too, because you probably want to have it done before winter sets in.
Yeah. Can you say snow and deep snow?
And deep ice.
And deep ice, yes. Let me see, the ordinance officer included with the township inspector. Oh yeah, they wanted to make sure that their township ordinance or inspector was included with the ordinance officer from the county in this, so that they were both informed as to the conclusion of this thing.
Right.
Okay, so the township would be well aware.
That sounds like the ZBA is doing their job.
Yep, they are. And they want to maintain this or monitor it every year to make sure that things are fine. The alarm system, we talked about that, and I think that's pretty much it. If the alarm goes off, they know there's a problem. Board comments. Motion to approve the 47-foot variance was agreed upon. And let me see. In accordance with the plans and description of the system, which they had. There's only 2 companies, I guess, that provide that type of system out there. And this one was well recognized, this company, by the township, because they've seen their work
Yeah.
before. So they have very, very good confidence that it's going to be done properly. They said, is there any correspondence? No correspondence, so they rushed through that in a hurry, and no additional reports. So that concluded this meeting. And speaking of meetings, what's coming up?
We do have meetings on 10/27 at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Planning Commission. And going into November on 11/1 at 7 o'clock, the Village of Oxford Planning Commission. And on 11/7 at 7:30, the Addison Township Park Committee, one of your favorites.
Yes.
And also that same day at 7 o'clock, Village of Oxford ZBA. And on 11/8 at 6:30, the Village of Oxford Council, always an interesting one. And on 6:30 that same day, the Oxford Board of Education is now going to meet at Oxford High School on that meeting. And in conclusion, even though I don't have that League of Women Voters brochure that I had before,
You can see
be
it.
sure you vote on November 8th. And that League of Women Voters document will really help you find out about those people that you're clueless about, basically.
Yeah, and that ballot is actually 2 pages long too. And by the way, if you're in the village, precinct 1 is where you're going to vote, and you're going to have new village council members that you're going to want to vote for, and make your selection of who's going to be on the council.
That's right.
With that, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
Catch you right here next time on Minutes by Minute.
See you then.
Whether your family is interested in hunting or target shooting, or even if your family doesn't participate in these activities, having a family conversation about firearms safety is the right thing to do. Join me for a straightforward discussion of what to say, how to say it, and how to talk with both young and older kids about this important topic. It will be time well spent.